The Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt II is a single-seat, twin-turbofan, straight-wing, subsonic attack aircraft developed by Fairchild Republic for the United States Air Force, USAF. In service since 1977, it is named after the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, but is commonly referred to as the Warthog or simply Hog. Its secondary mission is to direct other aircraft in attacks on ground targets, a role called Forward Air Controller, FAC. Airborne aircraft used primarily in this role are designated A-10. The A-10 was designed to provide close air support, CAS, to ground troops by attacking enemy armored vehicles, tanks, and other ground forces. It is the only production-built aircraft designed solely for CAS to have served with the U.S. Air Force. On February 10, 1976, Deputy Secretary of Defense Bill Clements authorized full-rate production while the first A-10 was accepted by the USAF Tactical Air Command on March 30, 1976. Production continued and reached a peak rate of 13 aircraft per month. A small design reinforcement was quickly adopted when initial fatigue testing failed at 80% of testing. The A-10 passed fatigue tests with the fix. This new target quickly discovered serious cracks at Wing Station 23, WS-23, where the outboard portions of the wings are joined to the fuselage. By 1984, 715 airplanes, including 2 prototypes and 6 development aircraft, had been delivered. 8,000 flight-hour service lives were becoming common at the time, so fatigue testing of the A-10 continued with a new 8,000-hour target. When full-rate production was first authorized, the A-10's planned service life was 6,000 hours. The first production change was to address this problem by adding cold working at WS-23. Soon after, the USAF found that the real-world A-10 fleet fatigue was harsher than estimated, forcing a change to fatigue testing and introduced Spectrum 3 equivalent flight hour testing. Spectrum 3 fatigue testing started in 1979. This round of testing quickly determined that more drastic reinforcement would be needed. The second change in production, starting with aircraft number 442, was to increase the thickness of the lower skin on the outer wing panels. This change increased the thickness of the lower skin on the center wing panel, but it required modifications to the lower spar caps to accommodate the thicker skin. Starting with aircraft number 530, cold working at WS-0 was performed, and this retrofit was performed on earlier aircraft. A tech order was issued to retrofit the thick skin to the whole fleet, but the tech order was rescinded after roughly 242 planes, leaving about 200 planes with the original thin skin. A fourth, even more drastic change was initiated with aircraft number 582, again to address the problems discovered with Spectrum 3 testing. The USAF found it economically unfeasible to retrofit earlier planes with this modification,